Hey there. Tuesday was a bit of an anniversary for me. It was the 21st anniversary of a rather important rite of passage. February 26th, 1987 was the first day when I had enough courage to let a girl know I was romantically interested in her. And there's a lot to this story, but the first thing you need to know is that I was painfully shy at the time. Painfully shy. The other thing we can start with is the girl herself. She was a nice girl, she was a sweet girl, and she certainly was a pretty girl. But I wouldn't say she was exceptionally pretty because I had been in classes with her before. In fact, she was in my homeroom, but I'd never really given her a second thought. That all changed at the beginning of sophomore year when we had a chemistry class together. And by virtue of our last name starting with the same letter, we were paired up as lab partners. Now, you can imagine what happened next. Take a really shy guy who's never had the courage to speak to girls, and you stick him in a situation where he gets to speak to a pretty girl on an almost daily basis. Well, what happened next was inevitable. Of course, I wound up falling in love with her. Now, this may have been a silly reason to fall in love with someone. I still barely knew the girl. Just because she spoke to me, I fell in love with her. Yes, it's silly, but that doesn't make the feelings you have at the time any more real or some of your experiences any less painful. And it was painful because as a really shy guy, it was also inevitable that I would have no way of expressing these feelings towards her. And time went on and on and on. This was the beginning of sophomore year. Valentine's Day passed, and I didn't do anything, and that was quite painful to me. And then the next year started, junior year, and somewhere early junior year, I finally let some of my friends know, some of my close friends know. It was the first time I told anyone I was interested in a girl. I kept it as my little secret, and with the help of these close friends, I slowly worked up my courage. Though I never really got too brave, what really happened was I wound up writing her a letter, and it was quite a letter. It was 30 pages long. It was rambling. I'm sure she probably thought I was kind of a nut job when she read it. On about why I loved her so much, and on and on and on and on, kind of almost like stalker stuff. And even having written the letter, I didn't have the courage to hand it to her. I had one of my close friends hand her the letter on February 26th. And she read it. She got back to me later in the day, and she rejected me. In fact, she had a boyfriend at the time, which I kind of knew, but I didn't want to really believe. In any case, that doesn't work out, and you feel like it's the worst day of your life. You feel like it's the end of the world. But looking back, it was really a great day for me because I'd finally passed that barrier. I'd gotten over that fear. I'd finally gotten over that fear of rejection. And in a way, it was the day I became a man. And I thought it was just interesting that now I've been a man, so to speak, for 21 years. And as I said, you think it's a terrible thing, but just a couple of months later, I found myself interested in another girl, and I went for it. I let her know on my own without outside help this time. Now, that was a disaster as well. She rejected me also, and that kind of dragged on for a couple of months, me not being able to accept that kind of sucked too. But the point is, I thought it was terrible. I thought it was the end of the world, but less than 4 years after my first rejection, I met the girl who would become my wife. So things can change a lot faster than you think. And that's not to say that those 4 years in between weren't really tough. They were. I had lots of other experiences, none of them were successful. And, being a shy guy and being a guy who didn't know how to talk to girls, it was rough. And I was very depressed quite a bit. And I wouldn't say I was ever truly suicidal, but there were times during that period where I honestly did not want to live. And the reason why I'm even mentioning all this, other than I was just thinking about the significance of the date and at 21 years, is that I realized I have I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I have noticed that quite a few of my subscribers are relatively young people. And I guess I'm really mostly speaking to the young people. And some of you might be going through experiences just like this, and some of you may yet to be maybe about to go through these types of experiences. And I just wanted to let you know that times can get tough, but you know, if you keep plugging, keep moving along, good things can happen down the road. I mean, I swear, on February 26, 1987, I thought it was the end of the world. I thought I would never love again. Oh, I can never love a girl as much as I love this girl. A few months later, I'm making a play for another girl, and as I said, 4 years after February 26, 1987, met the woman who would be my wife. So, so believe me, these things are, life is a long haul, and sometimes things don't go your way, but just sometimes there's something good coming around the corner, so just keep the faith, keep on going. That's really all I have to say. If anyone else has any stories they'd like to share, you know, I don't claim to be like an expert on these kind of things. There's certainly no Ann Landers or Dr. Phil or anything like that, but just in the spirit of YouTube interaction, if anyone else has a story they want to share, if they want to know my thoughts on it, feel free to make a video response to me, and I'll make a video response right back to you, and you know, we'll talk about it. It could be fun. It might be a new way to do some YouTube interaction. Any case, as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.